Hello, my name is Johnathan Beebe from Beebe Outdoors, and today I'd like to teach you a little bit about front of center, or in archery world, FOC. FOC is the amount of weight forward of the arrow's balancing point. So it's not dead center, it's wherever the balancing point is. And there's a way to calculate this. So what you're going to need is a tape measure and one of your arrows. First, you want to figure out what the overall length of your arrow is. That is from the throat of the knot point to the end of your arrow. Not the end of your tip, the end of your arrow. So I measure this, it comes out to 30 even. Now we have to figure out what our balancing point is. Our balancing point, easiest way to figure that out, put your finger on your arrow, and just figure out when it balances perfectly on your finger. Which is right there. That's balancing perfectly on my finger. So you want to mark this off. I just take it and pinch with my fingers. And after that, you take the tape measure and you do the same exact measurement back to the throat of the knot point, which is coming out to 23 inches. So now that we've found out what our overall length is and where we are at on our balance point, now there's a simple equation that I'll make it simpler for you. You're going to take the length of your overall arrow and you're going to divide that by 2. So we got 30 divided by 2, which comes out to 15. So then after that, you're going to take the balance point of the arrow and minus that by the 15. So you're going to take 23 minus 15. That's going to be 8. You're going to times that by 100, which will be 800. And after that, you're going to divide that by the overall length of the arrow. So we have 800 divided by 30. That comes out to 26 we'll just say 6%. And that is my arrow's front to center. The amount of weight that is forward on the arrow from its balancing point. So what you're probably thinking is that, John, why did I do this silly equation to try to figure out my arrow's front to center? What exactly does it do? Well, your front of center does a couple things. The first thing it does is that when this arrow comes out of your bow and it flexes back and forth, all of that energy transfers up to the point. Your heavier front to center absorbs that energy and makes it so that way it flies straighter. Another thing that it does is that because all of your weight is in the front portion of your arrow, that means when it comes in contact with that animal and it starts to push through, all of the weight of your arrow that it has to force through is all in your first, mine was what, 7 inches? It was all in my first 7 inches. So because of that, the rest of my arrow slides right straight through the animal because there's no weight to it. And that's why I feel that, for a recurve shooter, I like to stay at least 23% or higher. I'm happy with my 26. I'd like to be a little bit higher, but we can all hope for better. Compound shooters, I was always in between 15 and 18%. And that's where I'd like to stay. I liked having my speed. I liked having, a faster bow, things like that. But at the end of the day, I did like knowing that I didn't have to worry about my arrow encountering bone. So that is why I like to shoot a heavier front to center arrow. And I think that once you guys see the benefits of a heavier front to center, that you guys will end up liking it and wanting to shoot something similar to this. So if you guys got any questions at all, send me a message, comment on this video, and I'll surely get back to you guys.